All right, so in my current attempt to return to some of the terms that I'm using in my work to make them a bit more accessible to you, a bit more systematic so that you're not lost, I think it is important that we have another look at the word cipher, the notion of the cipher, because this is an important term that you need to have a grasp of if you are to understand my approach to type, and if you are to, hope to understand, appreciate fully, let's say, my my future book on introverted intuition. Okay? So, as you know, I have said that the ciphers are units of meaning that are circling around the deeper recesses of the unconscious, so that the ciphers are to be distinguished from signs, and that they're also to be distinguished from symbols. All right? So in a very recent video, we did look at the symbol. So there is no need to return to the symbol here. The signs, we will discuss them in a separate videos, but essentially the signs are interchangeable and used to designate a particular content. So for example, the most common signs that we're familiar with in everyday life are words. Words are a very typical species of sign, if you like. Ciphers are not quite symbols, they're not quite signs, they're kind of in between, and they are very important because they populate, like I said, they populate the lower recesses of the unconscious. They are essentially the units of the shadow as well, right? So that our shadow functions are mostly built out of ciphers. Our core fantasies with PH, are definitely built out of ciphers. Our more conscious but not completely consciously appropriated fantasies with an F are a mix of signs and ciphers. Now, I want to use an example, concrete example, to make this concept of cipher a bit more tangible. Okay, a bit more tangible. You are probably familiar with the notion of the Freudian slip, right? So I'm going to give you an example of a Freudian slip and show you the role of the cipher in the Freudian slip that I'm going to illustrate. It's actually an example that someone gave the class that I'm in, my psychoanalytic class, they saw someone make that Freudian slip. So it was like two friends, I think it was two female friends, and one was soon to get married to the love of her life, I'm sure, and they were in some place, and the friend says to the fiancé, soon to be married, I cannot wait to attend your funeral. Okay, I cannot wait to attend your funeral. Now, as my teacher likes to say, Freudian slips are usually great moments of solitude, because we often feel embarrassed about them. And the fact that we feel embarrassed and ashamed usually reveals that they mean something. If they were completely haphazard, if they were completely chance events that don't mean anything, we would just be like, oh, what the hell? But we wouldn't feel this sense of embarrassment and shame, right? And in that case, she meant to say, I can't wait to be at your wedding. Can't wait to be at your wedding. I'm excited for you. But instead, for some reason, she said, I can't wait to be at your funeral. Now, of course, we may make some conjectures as to the meaning of this particular slip. In fact, it's probably not a very difficult slip to understand. Beneath the conscious attitude of excitement and friendship and kindness that the friend is exhibiting, what the slip reveals is that there is hostility, jealousy, and envy, probably. Something like that, right? My friend's getting married and I hate her for that. It's very conscious, it's very unconscious. It's not something that they would admit to themselves. It's censored by the unconscious. That's why it doesn't make its way into consciousness. But nevertheless, it appears in the slip, and it probably appears in the dream as well. In this guy's form, but it appears in the dream. Now, what I want to say is, in this case, in fact, the word funeral, right, is not a sign. The word funeral is a cipher. And the reason why the word funeral in this case is not a sign but a cipher is that if the person has said, I can't wait to attend your wedding, right? Wedding would be a sign. The word wedding would simply refer to the actual wedding that's about to take place, right? Now, obviously, when the friend says, I can't wait to attend your funeral, the word funeral is not actually referring to the funeral that's soon going to take place, because it's very likely that there will be no such funeral. So funeral is standing for something else, something deeper in the unconscious. Namely, for example, we might conjecture, like I said, feelings of hostility, envy, jealousy, hatred, something like that, right? Attacking impulses, death instinct type stuff. Indeed, death, funeral, we see the link here. So in a sense, the word funeral, I mean, yeah, it's a word, but it's really more, it's better to be understood as an utterance of a cipher. And what the cipher signifies is not by means of reference, the events of the actual funeral that won't take place, but this constellation of repressed hostile feelings and emotions towards the friend who's going to get married. So as you can see, a cipher is always pulsating with meaning that's unconscious and densely repressed. It belongs to the unconscious, and that's why our core fantasies with PH, which are also repressed and very unconscious, are built of ciphers. And it's true that our dreams, like our slips, or at least many of our slips, and other paths of alleviation of the unconscious, point to our fantasies, our core fantasies, by way of ciphers. That's also why when a person, say an anti-dominant, speaks of saving the world, you can understand that as a string of ciphers kind of sentence, referring to a fantasy of repair and not to the actual saving of the world. So hopefully that was clear, guy. I just want to mention before ending this video that I have a Patreon page, and I'd be really, really grateful if you support me on Patreon. I need your support more than ever, and I cannot do this work without you. So please consider supporting me at the link below. The first link in the description box right down there is to my Patreon page. It's only a few euros or dollars a month or a year. I'd be immensely grateful if you supported me. Don't forget that you would access some cool perks, like a whole library of exclusive videos only to patrons, and they're usually long format and go into great detail about a topic of your choice as a patron. And you can also hang out with us on the Discord, which is another perk. Okay, thank you so much, and don't forget about my 2 books on the INFJ, of course. You might be familiar with them, but you might also not be familiar with them. So here they are. There is the Ecstatic Soul, which is all about the inner world of the INFJ, right? The consciousness, the thinking of the INFJ, and the Infinite Soul, INFJ Life in the Modern World, which is all about the INFJ in the external world, how to find meaning, purpose, and value as an INFJ in a world that INFJs often find hostile. Thank you so much for your attention, guys, and see you very soon.